What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. So, Money in the Bank is the next WWE PLE, and I know people are going to be wondering or going to be trying to figure out who's winning, who's not winning. But I'm going to be doing a part 2 video. This is going to be part 1, and the next one will be concerning the women who I feel like is going to win that match. And this one, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 names who I think are going to win Money in the Bank this year. I'm gonna say who could. I'm gonna say four who could, and the person who I think should win. So this is gonna be my four who I think could win, and then I'm gonna tell you the person who I think is should and will win. So before I get into that, I wanna say my honorable mention. My honorable mention is Braun Breaker. I think WWE has been handling Braun Breaker as great as they really can. They have been definitely doing him great. I feel like they've been handling him great as a character, and he's proven that he can blur the lines of being a great face, but he can also play a sadistic, brutal heel who is willing to destroy anybody that he feels like it. And if you guys aren't really too familiar with Braun Breaker, go watch his stuff in NXT. And he can play a great face, but he can also play a great heel as well. So go do that, and you can get a little bit more familiar with Braun Breaker. His spear, oh, it's brutal. That spear looks like he can legit kill somebody. If you and he was in the end, he did do football. So if you guys haven't seen some of his football highlights, yeah, he can pretty much try to kill somebody with that spear. I will tell you that. But he is my honorable mention. I do think um, the reason why I have him as my honorable mention and not really like on my actual list is because I feel like they're going to be taking a slow approach with him, because I think they're positioning him as being like their next big top star. So I think they want to slowly build him to getting to that level of being a world champion. So I think maybe they can build him to becoming an intercontinental champion first, and then go after the world title. Similar to how they did with Gunther when he first came in. He won the intercontinental champion, had a great reign, had some great matches for that championship, and then he's pretty much been elevated to the world title scene by winning King of the Ring, and now challenging for the title at SummerSlam. So I think they can do some type of build with him similar to that. So he is my honorable mention. But my number five pick is Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is one of the best on the roster. He's a great promo. He's great in the ring. He's very charismatic. He has all the tools to be a big main event star if given the opportunity to do so. The reason why I have him at number five is because I feel like he's been in this mini feud with not Logan Paul, but LA Knight, and I think the reason I would say him being there, I think he would have at a great um, he has some great spots being in that match. I think he has proven that he wants to be him, but I don't think he's going to be him this year. I think they have something in store for him, though, for sure. I think by the end of this year, he will be U.S. champion. That's my personal prediction. I think by the end of this year, by the end of 2024, we will be calling Carmelo Hayes not only him, but your U.S. champion as well. But moving on to my number four pick, who I think also could win, that being none other than LA Knight. We talked about Carmelo Hayes just a minute ago, but now we're going to talk about LA Knight, the megastar. Now, he can have all the potential in the world. I think a lot of fans wanted to see him win last year, myself included, but that was not in the cards for him to win last year. But maybe he is able to turn it around this year and actually able to win the briefcase. Um, and if he's going after that U.S. Championship, this will be almost a rehash of what they did with The Miz. Because if you remember The Miz in 2010, he went in as U.S. Champion and they won Money in the Bank. And then shortly after, he lost the U.S. Championship to go after the world title. So what if there's a situation where we do see, um, LNA win the briefcase, and then not only after that, we see him win the U.S. title, and he's holding the U.S. and Money in the Bank, and then you can kind of start a little bit of dissension there as far as him as U.S. champion to elevate him to being the world champion. The only reason why I have him at number four because I don't think he is going to win. I think he will be in the match, but I think there will be a situation where Logan Paul comes in and screws over LA Knight, and then you can continue their feud because they've been feuding as of late, and you can continue that going to SummerSlam because I do think that is that match that they're going to be doing at SummerSlam this year. So I think that's gonna how they're going to set up that match at SummerSlam. So um, definitely LA Knight is my number 4. My number 3 my number 3 is going to be shock a lot of people. It's going to shock a lot of people. Hang in there with me. I'll give you reasons why. My number 3 is the one and only Ricochet. Now, a lot of people are going to be asking me, wait, why do you have Ricochet in this list? Didn't he get rid off by Braun Breaker? Isn't he going to AEW? Isn't he going to TNA? Is he going to New Japan? I know these are some questions that you guys are going to be asking me, and I would not be mad if you guys were to say those things at all because it makes a lot of sense in the world. He did get written out, but hang in there, bear with me. Let me cook just for a little minute. Now, we know Ricochet did get caught off on the stretcher, right? And it almost seemed like it was pretty much his send off, right? But what if this wasn't a send off, so to speak? What if this was a rebirth of Ricochet, right? If you've been paying attention to WWE television over the last couple of months, they have been teasing Prince Puma. They've been calling Ricochet Prince Puma when he comes down to the ring. If you guys don't know who Prince Puma is, that was his gimmick, his character that he did in Lucha Underground. Now, what if it's a situation where Ricochet got written off, but this is the rebirth of Ricochet as Prince Puma? And if you guys don't know anything about Prince Puma and Ricochet are two different characters. Prince Puma is more of an edgy character. He is more of a aggressive character. Now, what if we have an opportunity, and we have the opportunity to see Prince Puma come back, and he's a different side of him. He's more aggressive. He's more ruthless. He's not taking anything from anybody. He's not really a face. He's not really a heel, but he's blurring the lines of both. Now, I think this is something I think a lot of fans can get behind because I think a lot of people can say Ricochet is capable of doing so many good things, but it's always his promos that hold him back. Now, with them potentially going to Netflix and them potentially being more edgy, I think this is an opportunity to capitalize on Ricochet finally elevating himself to the next level because I think Ricochet may have reached his ceiling, but Prince Puma, we don't know what his ceiling could be in WWE. So I think this will be a great opportunity to capitalize on that and potentially see where things can go for Ricochet as under the Prince Puma character. And I think if he was to come back, and if there's a situation where Braun Breaker could be in Money in the Bank, what if there's a situation where they kind of do like they did with 2019? Now, I know people don't like the surprise entrance, right? Not everybody's a big fan of those. But if it makes sense, then okay. Now we know Brock Lesnar did that. That didn't make sense whatsoever. That didn't make a lack of sense. I'm sorry. That did not need to happen. But what if there is a situation where we see Braun Breaker in the match, but then we have a surprise entrant, that being Prince Puma, and he goes in and he wins it. And over the course of him holding that briefcase, he's blurring the lines of being a face and a heel. But when he finally does cash it in, he turned heel by doing so. Now I think him as a heel could be very crazy. I think him would be so perfect as a heel because I think he is somebody I think a lot of people can buy into as a heel. And we've seen it before. Not everybody who comes into WWE can play a great heel. They can be a good heel, but they can only reach their ceiling, right? And we looked at it with Liv Morgan, right? A lot of people looked at her as a mid-card type of person, and people still do. But you have to admit, she has definitely elevated her game since turning heel, and she has reached a new level. Because now, she's fully going heel, and now she's not really seen as this mid-card type of person anymore. She's seen more as a main eventer now. Now, I think the same thing can be said for Ricochet. If he can kind of own in and really just go all in with this heel character, I think the sky is truly the limit for him. I really do. And I think a lot of people can agree as well. I think they can really do some great stuff if they pull the trigger on it. So that's why I have him as my number 3. My number 2 is main event Jey Uso. It makes all the sense in the world to put the briefcase on him. Let's be honest. If you look at his merch sales, he's number 1 in the merch sales. He's pretty much a big draw for the company. And if you look at his aura, right, he at some point you have to give him the big one, right? You have to give him the big win at some point. You can't just have him be main event Jey Uso and never get the big win at some point in time, right? You look at his whole thing since he became main event Jey Uso. He's came so close to winning big moments. He got screwed out of winning the U.S. title by Jimmy. He got screwed out of the IC title by Jimmy. He's got screwed out of the Undisputed title by Jimmy. He got screwed out of the tag team titles by Jimmy. He's got screwed up so many title opportunities because of Jimmy. Now, this is a situation where you could finally give him that briefcase. And honestly, at the time of recording the video, the WWE, as far as the creator goes, is all in on putting the briefcase on Jey Uso this year. Now, would I be mad at it? Absolutely not. I think he definitely deserves it. But I do think it's going to be a situation, because I think there are going to be so many different shenanigans happening in this match. I think we're going to see a situation where it was similar to LA last year, where he had his hands on the briefcase, he was about to unhook it. But I think we're going to see the Bloodline get involved and cost Jey Uso the match. I think that will happen in the match. I think we're going to start slowly showing the potential teases of an OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline match later this year, because I think right after SummerSlam they're going to be getting ready for that feud, potentially going into Survivor Series, and then possibly having the Gorillas of Destiny of Tangaloa and Tama Tonga going up against Jimmy and Jay. Maybe have them face at WrestleMania 41 for the WWE tag titles that are currently being held by none other than 8-Time Down Under. So I think they could have them face for the tag titles next year. Now, if that's going to be the case, then I don't see a reason to put the briefcase on him unless either he's going to win the briefcase but fail, or he cashes it successfully but has a very short reign. Now, I don't have a problem with him holding the briefcase. It's just, I think if he's going to hold the briefcase, either he's going to have a short reign or he's going to have unsuccessful cash-in. And I don't think with someone as popular as Jey Uso needs to have a unsuccessful briefcase cash-in. So that's the only reason why I have him as number 2. But the person who I think will win, the person I think that will win and become your next world heavyweight champion. I know a lot of people are going to be saying Gunther. I think he's going to hold win that at WrestleMania next year, honestly. But who do I think will win? Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor will become your Mr. Money in the Bank this year. Reason being, they've been telling the story between Damian Priest and Finn Balor since last year. You think about it, Finn Balor was challenging for the World Championship at Money in the Bank last year and SummerSlam, and Priest won Money in the Bank last year, and they had that little dialogue where Finn Balor was questioning Damian Priest, and he was telling him, you're not going to cash in on me if I win the championship, are you? And Damian Priest said no. But if you want to be honest, if it wasn't for Priest getting involved in both of his matches at Money in the Bank and SummerSlam, you can honestly say Finn Balor probably would have won the world title. He probably would have won the championship. Because of Priest, it didn't happen. Now, maybe that's all playing back in his head, and it's been playing in his head this entire time. What if there's a situation where he does win Money in the Bank, and you can rehash that, and then now Priest is going to ask Balor, you're not going to cash in on me, are you? And Balor's going to be like, no, I'm loyal to you. We're the Judgment Day. We're brothers. I'm never going to do that to you. And then all of a sudden, he turns and he wins the title from Priest. Priest this entire time thought they were brothers, thought he had his back, thought Balor had his best interest, but the entire time he was plotting against Priest. And then, on top of that, you have the other story that's playing on Monday Night Raw between Liv and the Judgment Day. And we've seen Liv been targeting Dominic, and she gave him the hotel key last week, but who took the key? Who was the last person seen with the key? It was Finn Balor. Finn Balor took the key, and now it looks like it's a situation where Finn Balor and Liv Morgan could be in cahoots. They could be in cahoots the entire time, because if you go back and look at their story, they go back to 2022 when Judgment Day first took form. It was literally Finn Balor, AJ, and Liv going up against Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest. It was all of them together. Maybe it was a situation where Finn Balor and Liv Morgan could have been cahoots this entire time since Finn Balor joined. It's a possibility. We don't know. We don't know the full severity of what's been going on between the two. But if you go back a couple weeks ago, Finn Balor and Liv Morgan got out the same car together, so you know that there is something going on, but we don't know what it is. So I think there's a situation there. I wouldn't even be surprised if there's a situation in Money in the Bank where we see none other than somebody else, maybe like a Jey Uso or LA Knight, look like they're about to win the briefcase, and Liv Morgan comes in and she just, she shuts that down right then and there, and she costs whoever it is the briefcase and helps Finn Balor go up the ladder, similar to kind of what happened with 2014 Money in the Bank when we seen, Ambrose, he looked like he was about to win it, and then Kane came down and then cost Ambrose the match a lot and held the ladder in place for then Seth Rollins to go up the ladder, grab the briefcase, and become Mr. Money Bank. I could see a situation like that happening, but you also still have other people in the Judgment Day who are going to want to make sure Finn Balor does walk away with the briefcase so they can have all the gold in Judgment Day, right? I think that's a story that they're going to be going with. Now you have the pop over the story, and we know Triple H, he tends to go with the story over the pop. We've seen it recently at Clash of the Castle. He went with the story over the pop. We know Drew McIntyre would have got the biggest pop in Glasgow if he would have won the World Championship in front of his friends and family and all the people and fans that were there in attendance. We know that would have been gotten the biggest pop of the entire year for WWE, but they went with the story because they know the story with Drew is Punk. So that's the story that they're going to be going with. So that's why I feel like, for me, the person who I think is going to win and will be declared your Mr. Money in the Bank for 2024, Finn Balor. But comment down below, let me know, who do you guys think should win Money in the Bank this year? Who you guys think should win the Mr. Who should be declared Mr. Money in the Bank? Do you agree with the people that I have in my list? Do you not agree? Why or why not? Let me know in the comment section down below. We're on the road to 250 subscribers, but the ultimate goal is 10K. Once I do hit 10K, one of you lucky fans will have the opportunity to win a WWE Championship from WWE Shop, because I will be doing a giveaway. So if you want an opportunity to start your collection, add to your collection, whatever the case may be, subscribe to my channel. It's absolutely free. You can always change your mind in the future. Super kick that like button. Helps my channel get pushed across the platform so more people can see what I'm doing over here on YouTube. Superman punch that post notification bell so every time I post a new video, where it's a reaction video, rant video, live stream, any type of video, you can be in the loop of things when I do drop a video. And spear the subscribe button. It takes 3 seconds out of the day to do those 3 things for me. It takes 3 seconds. Please go do so. It helps on the progression of my channel, helps more people can see what I'm doing, more people, so I can get a bigger audience, so more people, because I want to do more live streams with you guys, and I want to have more people be a part of a lot of things that I have doing going forward. So definitely, do all those things for me. Hope everybody has a great day, a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video.